Hey guys, it's Christine back from Octavarium Gaming. You're seeing the fair use doctrine up here because we're going to be referencing some other YouTubers' content, and we're not claiming that we've generated this content. In fact, that's what we're going to be talking about Lucky by Nature's scandal about stealing Denchy's Alpha Rockwell boss content. So, without further ado, also stay tuned later for the announcement of the first ever progressive cluster. A little slight controversy about the Alpha Rockwell boss fight by Lucky by Nature. Some of my guys from the server posted some interesting links and screenshots from chat and copy and paste from Lucky by Nature's chat. Essentially, what Lucky by Nature did is steal content from Denchy on how to beat the Alpha Rockwell boss. I mean, it was produced 9 days before their video, so that's an eternity in online video content, especially Ark content creators. As you can see up here, one of my members, Mo Man, posted on how to beat the Alpha Rockwell quite some time ago. And as we scroll down here, we'll get into that later. I'm just going to narrate with some of this stuff. So this picture of the guns was taken on Sunday, right? And today is, what's today? Wednesday already. So gives you a little bit of time reference. So we're just gonna keep going down here. So here's where my one of my main players here, Mercer, posted the Lucky by Nature video, even though Mo Man posted it prior to that. And I'm just going to narrate what happened. He reposted it today at 1, right? Even Mo Man says 9 days prior. We go through a discussion via text on, maybe they didn't know, maybe they weren't aware, because they're pulling a Thick Freedom, right? Thick Freedom is known to steal content left and right, and known to just straight up ban people from their Discord or servers if they're called out in any type of way for that, or any type of suggestions on how to run a decent server. I've been running a cluster for how long have I had this up, Mercer? Or
Probably a year or more.
over a year for a cluster. It's been close to a year for a cluster, but it's been longer than that for just a solo server. I've dumped a lot of money and resources into getting the server up for everybody, and it's open to the public. We'll post stuff in the video description below. Um, but Mercer went back and called them out onto it. And they go and they do the very tripe response as anybody who's called out on plagiarism that doesn't have any shred of self-respect will say. It's like, well, anybody could have come up with that content. I'm like, no, not anybody could have come up with that content. One, two, just like in patent law, which I have a small experience with because I'm an engineer too that generates new ideas for my company. If somebody has the same idea and they're concurrent, right? The first one to bring it to public eye has rights over that intellectual property. Now, granted, it's a moot point about intellectual property with an Ark video because they don't own the game, right? They're creating a content based on the game, which is okay, but still, internet etiquette, Ark YouTuber etiquette dictates that if somebody creates content, of the same nature of what you're going to create before you at least reference that, right? You say, hey, this guy, I mean, granted, like Titan Shield and Phrostonis, right? Back 2 years ago when I was, over 2 years ago when I was just starting to get into Ark, and both those guys were releasing the same type of content at the same time, they would reference each other's videos. And then Titan Shield just straight up says, gives props to the guy who taught him the method in his videos. He was just making the video, but this guy thought of it. And he was just a player. I mean, that's a stand-up guy right there. That's what you do. You give credit where credit's due. So then they go a step further. First of all, they don't acknowledge that yeah, somebody could have came up with it ahead of time, and hey, we're sorry. Denchy's good. Sorry to step on your toes, Denchy. No, it's hard to apologize or give credit when they haven't even watched that video or heard of anyone unofficial posting to begin with. That's that's no excuse. Sorry for being human and coming up with the same idea. It's still content. It's still raw ideas. Well, it's not raw ideas, is it? You didn't have the raw idea. You took it blatantly from Denchy. So
Yeah, and while I was in the Discord, one of their responses, they were actually didn't like the YouTuber, so
yeah, and
themselves.
so it doesn't matter if you like the guy or not. You still give him credit because he came up with it first. So you guys, this is a text from earlier today. About 5 hours ago. So as you go on to say, Mercer posts here. Well, first of all, this method didn't work out for us as planned. Second of all, this was one fight out of a few to test things, and you can't give credit people for every shit they take. That's blatant out false too. Good luck trying to defend that in a patent lawsuit. HD Gaming used a rock Drake in one of his videos as well. Where are all his credits? Wildcard said it themselves. They used a mechanic which was in the game. So if anyone deserves credit in this case, it's Wildcard. Well, they're the devs of the game, right? They don't come up with credit for being a player to develop or to find out a method on how to do something when they're the testers and they're the devs. So that's a moot point too. This is what really chaps my butt right here. You can't say no offense here because this is straight up offense, right? In all fairness, Denchy has 500 subs. He's doing good videos, but you have to understand if not everyone knows him. Fair enough, not everybody knows him. But you know what? It's called doing your due diligence. You do this constantly as an engineer, and you should be doing it if you're in any type of public eye to begin with. Open up a browser, go to Google, type in what the content you're going to create. How to beat the alpha Rockford boss, right? Rockwell boss, excuse me. Guess what? You know what? Denchy's video would have came up. And if they didn't do that, they're just poor human beings to start with, right? That's not. That's just sheer laziness. So I mean, and I kind of liked Lucky by Nature's content. They put out some okay videos, but even their title sequence is ripped off. It's straight up ripped off of what is it, the Columbia or the Viacom? What was it, Gur?
Or TriStar.
TriStar. That was that. Yes, it was the TriStar one. Thank you. Columbia one kind of had like in the old school like 80s 90s had kind of a similar one, but it's blatantly ripped off of that. So that's when I first watched a Lucky by Nature video. That was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, okay, guys. I mean, some of my stuff on my channel is straight up taken from Dream Theater, but I reference that and it's an homage to them because they're my favorite freaking band in the world. All my servers are named after their songs. I mean, that's how much of a fan I am. I've seen them live like I don't know, up 10 billion times. It's crazy. But that's a lot different than just straight up stealing content. So then one of our other players, Striker, goes in there and kind of try to defend Denchy as well. And he gets banned for saying it. Just straight up banned. Like really no warning. So you can read this text for yourself. I don't really have to read it again. We got some banter back here about server goings on.
Actually, he did get a warning.
Well, a warning for what? Hey, you proved me wrong. That's the same thing what Thick did. Hey, you proved me wrong. Do it again, and you're going to get banned. Sorry, unjust laws. You're morally obligated to not follow them, right? So here's like a little last tidbit of Rin in the chat. She was not able to talk at the time, but she was just responding to some of the comments we were making, and I was explaining how patent law works and engineering and things of that nature. You know, she's making the case for Lucky by Nature. She made a good one, right? The internet is too big. More than one person can have the same idea. That's true, but we discussed that earlier, right? You open up a browser window. You do a quick search if somebody's done this before. I mean, I have 3 or 4 of my own products that I'm working on currently that are going to be able to be patented in the near future because I did my research. I saw a need. I developed something. Now I need to see if somebody else has done it. Because if somebody else has done it, I don't get a paycheck, right? So if nobody else has done it, I can file my patent with the patent office. If anybody else do it, you know, it needs it needs to be owned by my company or myself when I'm working as a contractor. So it's very clear on how that is lined out. And the same, I mean, there's been multiple court cases where the internet community has fought against big media corporations on applying the same intellectual property as physical products to digital content. And we've lost at every turn. So therefore, if we've lost at every turn, digital PI is the same as physical PI. You got to do your same due diligence. I'm sorry, Lucky by Nature, that your butt hurt that somebody else found out about this method 9 days before you did. When you find that information out, be a bigger human being. Be the bigger person and say, my bad, dude, you deserve all the props. You're a god, right?
Well,
That's
it's more
simple enough
than
to
that.
do, right? Go ahead, Gur.
It's more than that. Because the reality is, okay, he has 500 subs. You have a lot more subs than them. Good for you. I'm really proud. I actually enjoy your videos. They've been really informational. But that being said, if somebody else has done it and they have 500 subs, wouldn't it be good of you to say, hey, this guy did it? Go take a look at his video too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what people don't get. A lot of YouTubers don't get, and they're always going to stay small. You know, Fresonus, Titan Shield, HOD, Loverfella, they're all in the same kind of clique, right? They've all played together before. I'm probably I don't know if I'm wrong on this, but I believe Loverfella, Fresonus, and Titan Shield all started like in the same gaming group, right? That's why a lot of their content you see a lot of crossover content. Um, but they realize that YouTube is a non-zero sum game. Now let me break that down for you because I don't think Lucky by Nature will understand that terminology. What that means it's not a poker game, right? The chips in the game are not just from other players, right? It's an infinite game. Just because somebody watches HOD doesn't mean they can't watch Lucky by Nature. That's the exact opposite, actually. Us as content consumers, right? Because I'm more of a consumer than a provider at this point because I have crazy work hours and a family. Uh, they they watch more than one YouTuber, right? And YouTube doesn't have a policy, and hope to God that doesn't change, where if you sub to this one guy for this content, you can't sub to another one, right? If you were to do like a Venn diagram, and that would be interesting if I get a hold of the raw data. I don't know if I could or not. I could show you that I'm guessing about 70% of the subscribers of HOD, of Loverfella, of Fresonus, maybe not so much Fresonus anymore, but he's kind of fallen off, and Titan Shield are 70% of them all subscribe to those 4 guys, right? And speaking of subscribing to people, if you never subscribe to X1 Wing X, that man is a god, and he needs to have more subs. So he's had a lot of good Ark content from the way back. Um, so a it's not a resource based economy, right? It's not a finite based economy.
There's
Everybody
no
can,
scarcity.
yeah, there's no scarcity. Thanks for joining, Wycliffe. So,
Mm.
I mean, there's plenty of viewers out there for everybody to share. And the best thing you could do is do an apology video, give credit to Denchy, and throw in some damn love, right? Help his channel grow. Because if he's making content that you can cross over with, you're going to get more subs too. I mean, that's the bottom dollar. More subs, more views equals ad revenue. I know nobody likes to talk about that, but it does equal ad revenue. And let's face it, everybody's got ads in their Ark videos, you know, because it does take time to make these videos. It does take computing resources. It does take electricity to do all this stuff. And especially if you're hosting your own server from your house like I am. It takes a lot of resources and time to do that. But I can't monetize, right? Because I'm too small. So to say that the guy's only got 500 subs, you know, straight up, I'm going to do. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. And how dare you? You were at one point at 500 subs. Hell, I would love to have 500 subs. You know, I would love to have my servers chocked full. I would love to have to buy more internet connections for my servers. Because even though sometimes I complain about having to do admin stuff all the time, I like it. I like the stories. I like the screenshots posted in there. I like the server events that we used to do that I've gotten way away from because of work and my master's classes and my family. You know, real life, it sucks. Don't grow up. Stay a kid forever if you can. Don't grow up. Don't get sucked into the system. But yeah, lucky by nature, you're probably not going to watch this video. Vixen, you're probably not going to watch this video, but you should. And you should do an apology video immediately and get it out as soon as possible. I'm going to open up the floor now to anybody else who wants to say anything. No, nothing?
No, not really. Just kind of, you pretty much covered it all pretty succinctly there.
Yeah.
It's definitely a messed up kind of thing to do, and then especially to try and, as it were, for lack of a better term, silence the people that brought it to your attention. That seems to me like a little bit of a dick move, because it seems like you're not open to criticism. You're not open to constructive methods of solving problems and stuff like that. It seems like you know what I mean. It seems like a very childish thing to do, to sit there and say no, I can't hear you, no, get out of here. Instead of saying, okay, well, let's address the situation. That to me is one of the big things that kind of, irked me a little bit, got under my skin, was that kind of behavior there. Like, everybody messes up. Everybody does stuff like that. Everybody does it. It really shows character as to how you react to that. Are you going to be childish and basically try and lock yourself in an echo chamber, or are you going to sit there and say, okay, hang on, maybe something is up here. Maybe we should, talk about this situation. And it didn't seem to me like that was a path took, and it seems to me like that was one that needed to be taken.
That you hit the nail directly on the head there, Wyglyph. I mean, just as like Jordan Peterson says, sort yourself out. Everybody who's worth listening to will say, no, take a step back, just like you said, take yourself out of your echo chamber. Am I the one fucking up? Am I the one that stinks right now? Did I step in dog poop? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like 90% of the time, I do that and I find out it's me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like 90% of the time I sit there and I'm like, okay, who's fucking up here? Oh, shit, it's me, And like, I gotta fucking sit there and be, okay, well, I messed up, Like, that's what I gotta do.
Yeah, that's called being an adult.
Well, I guess that's the benefit of being wrong most of the time, You're able to sit there and learn these things, like...
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Exactly. So if anybody wants to come join us,
pretty inclusive server. Met some of my best mates on this server, in this group. So all good guys, all good people, guys and girls. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Exclude that. No, all
I'm
good.
glad you corrected that there, Red.
Well, you know what I mean.
Had something to say to you.
Guys is more of like an inclusive, non-gender specific term as far as I just try to use it there. But I didn't mean to exclude anyone, because like everybody here's pretty awesome. Everybody here's very nice and very friendly, and
yeah, I mean,
a place that feels like home. Come on by.
Yep. This is you can find our Aberration server up right now. It's called the Dark Eternal Night. For some reason we dropped in rank. We were above rank 1500 for a private, not as a public server, but for being privately hosted, not through a server company. That's actually pretty dang good. So we're running the Castles and Keeps mod, which is awesome. Medieval stat or props, ultra stacks. It's times 10 rates, and we have starter kits when you join up, and you can earn points by doing cool things for the server, like server structures if you build them, or you do some cool, wicked, awesome PvP. I'll throw some people some points that way. And there's a good in-game shop based on points. Come on by, have some fun. I'll give you the Discord link right here. We'll pop back to Discord, and you can see that our link is that. So I will post both links, the battle metrics to this as well, in the description below. Come join us now. We will be wiping soon, but I'm going to announce this officially to everybody right now. I did some theory crafting on how I could implement this with some other people. But we're going to introduce the first progressive cluster. Now, Lucky by Nature is probably going to steal that too. So you heard it here first. We're going to do the first progressive server, right? And it's going to be hopefully up by this weekend. It's going to start off as Primitive Plus on the island. As soon as you get to level 75, your Steam ID will be whitelisted to Ragnarok. And hopefully, if I can set the scripts up correctly, as soon as you join, you'll get to level 75 as for experience. And you'll get a small Dino starter kit as well. And you'll run on Rag for about... That sounds terrible. Wow. Whoops. You'll be on Ragnarok until probably level 125, where you're going to, air quotes, ascend, because you can't really ascend on Ragnarok yet. And then you're going to go to Aberration, right? You can go to Aberration, and you're going to be at Aberration from 125 to about 150, level 150. Once you hit that, you can ascend, like descend to Aberration, right? And then ascend out of Aberration to the center on Extinction Core. And that's the final stop, is Extinction Core, because Extinction Core is the most brutal freaking game mode I've ever played on, and it's had me literally screaming, almost wetting my pants with the crazy content.
That.
Yeah. So
Alpha Trike.
Yes, an Alpha Trike. What the hell? An Alpha Trike. Never. Yeah, that scared the living crap out of me. So come join us. It's gonna be great, and I hope to see you on there. All right, guys. Farewell.